Welcome into IAmBiotech.org. We are on the floor, the exhibit floor of Bio 2009, and dropping by a very special guest, Governor Martin O'Malley of the state of Maryland. Governor O'Malley, nice to have you here with us.
Hey, thanks very much. Good to be back.
I think it was only a year ago when we were together doing this in San Diego as well, and here we are in Atlanta. And since then, I've followed your leadership a little bit in the state of Maryland and know that you're awfully committed to biotechnology in your state. Tell us why.
Oh, it's hugely important to a number of things. First and foremost, jobs. Secondly, jobs. Thirdly, jobs. Not to mention, what an important role biotech and life sciences is going to have, not only in the development of the healing sciences, but also as it morphs into fuels and biofuels and that whole mission of sustainability, and also what it does in terms of yields in agriculture. In our state, we have a number of very, very important federal institutions like NIH, like FDA, like USDA, like Fort Detrick, all of these things that are going to play such an important role. And biotech and life sciences is at the center of that, and it's one of the sectors of our economy that continues actually to create jobs, even with the global contraction in the economy.
Yeah, when you take the I-270 corridor, which is one of the major biotech centers in the country, and then you take a look at even some of the research that's being done out in the Chesapeake Bay with biofuels and algae and other kinds of things, I mean, your state really is becoming seemingly more and more central to the entire industry.
Well, we believe, in fact, the Milken Institute says that we are now the second in the country in terms of our biotech economy. We're number one in terms of what we invest in the human capital, namely education, the skills, and the talents of our people. Half of the biotech story in Maryland is the 400 private companies that create some 26,000 jobs, but the other half of it are the places like NIH, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and all of the other governmental entities that do so much research. You talk about the I-270 corridor, which is a very, very important part, and probably about a little over 50% of the private sector jobs. But we really have a wishbone offense going on. We have the Washington metropolitan area, Montgomery County, into Prince George's, but in Baltimore we have Johns Hopkins, we have University of Maryland, and so they both go together.
I know that on Monday you were out at the Eris Tuberculosis Global Foundation helping them open their manufacturing facility. This is just but one example of not only what's going on local, but this is an example of an organization that's actually making a worldwide contribution.
They sure are, and that's one of the most exciting things to me anyway about this whole field of biotech and what it means for America's moral leadership of this world. Dr. Jerry Sadoff, who is the leader of Eris there, Montgomery County, is developing the vaccine that can save thousands and thousands of people, mostly children, every year from dying early deaths because of tuberculosis. So
it's a nice export from Maryland.
It sure is. It's Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, who was an advisor to Kofi Annan and speaks in very clear American terms, talks about our moral leadership being determined not by the number of smart bombs we drop on our enemies halfway around the world, but by our ability to unleash the weapons of mass salvation to our most fragile neighbors all around the world in order to better fuel, better feed, and better heal this world of ours. I mean, that's what American leadership is all about, and I think it speaks most truly to our revolutionary spirit as a people.
2 months ago, President Obama lifted the ban on federal funding that had been in place for stem cell research. Your thoughts on that?
I am delighted. For the last 3 years, we have invested approximately $56 million in stem cell research, but we were a state that felt like we were sort of lighting a candle in the darkness, and it is so great to have President Obama and our federal government now aligned with many of the other forward-looking states that we're trying to advance American leadership and the healing potential of stem cells. So it's great news. You look at the additional $8 billion, $10 billion that's now going into NIH, the ripple effect that has for Maryland's economy and the sort of shot in the arm that can mean for the development of biotechnology nationally is really huge.
As you look forward over the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years and you assess where we are right now, obviously no big secret that there is an economic downturn going on out there that's affecting many industries. What do you think the biggest challenge for biotechnology is at the moment?
The biggest challenge for biotechnology at the moment is, I would say, probably, like everybody else, finding the capital in this worldwide sort of credit crunch. But this is cyclical, and our president will figure out a way to unfreeze these markets. What all of us who understand the impact of biotechnology need to do is to continue to articulate that vision. In our state, we are involved in a race to the future along with a couple of other states. We've announced a $1.3 billion plan to be invested in Maryland between now and 2020, and we are going to stay true to that vision. Now, the recession creates a little bit of a speed bump. We're not able to expand, say, the biotechnology tax credit to the degree we wanted to, but we've maintained it, and it's one of the best in the country. We haven't been able to expand stem cell research funding to the degree that we wanted to in this particular year, but we've maintained it, and we have a more active fund than most all but, say, one or two other states in the country. So we need to stay true to the vision. These cycles come, and this is a very, very difficult, challenging, brutal one for many, many people. But if we stay true to the vision, we will come through this, and we'll come through this strong because of the talents, the diversity, and the innovation of the American people.
Governor Martin O'Malley, you sound like a cheerleader for biotechnology.
I absolutely am.
Great to have you on IAmBiotech.org. Thanks for stopping by.
Good seeing you again.
David Welch with IAmBiotech.org. Visit us on the web at www.IAmBiotech.org.